Welcome back again from Tampa Bay. This is a voiceover video. Yes, the first one I've done. Hopefully the last. Probably won't be, but hey. And I'm doing a voiceover because I goofed and I need to get this video up. For whatever reason, the GP10 didn't Bluetooth sync with the 20S. I sure thought it did, but here's a tip. Turn the GP10 on after the 20S. This has happened a couple other times, and that seems to be the only thing that I can think of that is doing it. When I turn the 20S on first and then turn on the GP10, I always hear, the connected thing, and it's never been an issue. Now, for whatever reason, the phone syncs just fine. Obviously, the phone is always on, so I turn on the 20S and my phone always connects without any problem. But, like I said, a couple times this has happened, and I end up with no audio. So, anyway, this video is on the tail end of last night's disaster. And if you didn't see that video, I went out to do some bike shots and lost hundreds of dollars worth of photography gear off the back of my bike because I didn't tighten down a bolt, and basically lost the ball head off the top of my tripod. It just slipped off somewhere down the road, and it's gone. So an update on that. There's good and bad news. I thought I had put a little scratch on the back of my bag where I have a reflective sticker. Turns out I didn't. It's a sticker by RealTime Industries, and I have a video on it. You should definitely watch it, and if he has anything that can apply to your bike, I would highly recommend getting them. What they are basically reflective strips. You can't see them in the daytime. They're the same color as the black plastic of the bag, and that's what I wanted because I didn't want anything that looked like a sticker. I love the look of the bike as is. But when headlights hit it, they are bright reflective white, and he also has red, so you can choose there. So it's a great safety feature with no downside, and it's just awesome. But when I had lost that tripod ball head, I thought I had scratched it because I was looking at it with my iPhone light, but it turns out you can only see it in the reflective material. So basically only cars behind me, could even see it, and you don't see it unless you're up close. There's nothing with the naked eye. There's no surface scratch at all. So I don't care. It's no problem. And even looking on the other side, there's little reflective imperfections in the material too. But again, nothing physical. There's nothing you can see with your naked eye without a light shining directly on it. So it's fine. So I don't have to order anything there. Now, one downside is I noticed when I got back that not only did I lose the ball head, but I was kind of in shock and pissed off when I noticed what had happened, and I didn't really take a full survey of everything. But I also lost what the ball head was screwed onto. It's not that the ball head came undone. The whole piece of the top of the tripod came out of the socket, so I lost that part too. Now, luckily, because, and unluckily, it was very expensive pro gear. When you're using high-end stuff like that, spare parts are generally widely available, and that's the case. So I found the spare part. It was it's a carbon fiber Manfrotto leg set, and the spare part was only $19. So yay, that part at least was cheap, so I don't have to buy new legs or anything like that. And I found a ball head that'll replace the one I lost. I have to wait till Tuesday to order it through B&H Photo. Everything up there is closed on all the Jewish holidays, and there's one of them running through Monday. No big deal. They do have a cool sale on now, and they give you free expedited shipping, so I should have everything back in place by the end of the week, and that's just fine. So tonight on this ride, I'm going out again. I want to do one of the shots that I had in my head. There's no storm out tonight, but I still want to try to get the bike shot that I wanted to get yesterday also. And I've got my backup tripod with me. I do have backup gear for everything I own. Now, it's not a real high-end tripod. It's just a basic unit. It's piece of crap, basically. It's not good for professional use, but it's perfectly fine for personal use or in a pinch, and that's what it's for. It's just, emergency backup. It usually lives out back in my gazebo, and I use it just for video duty. and it just sits out there and just lives outside, and it's fine. So it fits here on the bike. I've got the 2 light stands again, and there wasn't any problem with the way I had it strapped down to the bike. That works just fine. It's just making sure that any parts that can wiggle loose are secured in a bag. So that's what I've got going on here. So what else is happening? Oh, had some excitement last night, and this kind of goes back to why I have to get this video up. This is for my own sanity. I'm the kind of person that has to be producing. I have to be creating something. Otherwise, I just get bored and pissed off. And the failure of last night kind of ticked me off, and losing that hundreds of dollars for nothing really ticked me off. And that kind of piles on to something that happened last week. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I made another big mistake, and I didn't file my Florida annual report on time. I missed it by 3 days, and they dinged me with a $400 absolutely non-waivable late fee. So that went from $130 to $530 for absolutely no reason. And it pisses me off double. Number one, because it was my fault, just a stupid mistake. And number two, because it's absolutely worthless. All it is telling the state that you're still in business. That's it. It's $130 if you're an LLC to say, yes, I'm still in business this year. That's all it is. There's no actual paperwork you have to file. There's no financials. That's all it is. Yes, I'm not dissolving my business this year. And when you're stupid like me, you just throw money at them. Here's another $400 because of nothing. I've got till September to pay it. They don't care. They're going to get their money. They don't care. If you don't pay it, they dissolve your company. So it's like, homeowners association taking out a foreclosure lien on your house because you didn't paint your fence the right color. It's just that stupid. So this month so far, I'm out $860 because of my stupid mistakes. So needless to say, I'm a little pissed at myself right now. And then there's this I was feeling really good when I got home, because I'll skip to the end of this. The photo shoot I did tonight came out really, really well. I absolutely love the picture. I already edited it. I was starting to edit the video, and that's when I noticed I have no audio. But picture came out great. And you know what? I'm going to finish this voiceover, and it's going to be just fine. Okay. The other excitement. Well, another reason I'm doing this video and have to get it up now is because it's scarily similar situation. I did a cigar video tonight. Started just after midnight, and I'm out there and I hear this screaming. It kind of reminded me of the days where Redneck Neighbor lived here, right? I'm like, what the hell? There's nobody home, and it's really loud, and I can't really understand it, but it's a couple girls at least. I hear one guy. So I'm doing my video, and I walk out front, and it's the neighbors across the street, one house down. And I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's a house of skanks. They're just skanks. Single mom, maybe 35. One daughter's 21, 22. Another daughter's, I don't know, late high school age, something like that. All they do is breed and get drunk. That's all they do. There's guys in and out all the time. They're loud, obnoxious. They fight. But they've never been a problem for me, because I really can't hear them. It's a house across the street and one over, so it's far enough away where it's never been an issue for me, not like Redneck Neighbor. But my new neighbor across the street, directly across from me, Tim, really cool guy. I met him when he was barbecuing. He moved in, he was barbecuing out front, came over, introduced myself, got to talking. And then later on, we're having conversations about neighbors and stuff. And I tell him, how bad Redneck Neighbor was, or is at the time. And he's like, oh, well, it never really bothers me. I can't hear him. Well, that's because you're not next door to him. He says, oh, well, you're not next door to these girls. I said, really? They're bad? Because, I didn't really know. Well, he starts telling me about all the problems that he's having with them being loud, mostly in the backyard, which I definitely can't hear, but it's keeping him up at night. He works for the county, so he gets up really early, and, they're carrying on 2, 3 in the morning. It's driving him absolutely crazy. He hasn't called the cops yet, but he says he's getting really close. I bet he did tonight. I know it doesn't do any good. He'll figure that out sooner or later. They're absolutely worthless around here. But tonight, it started off, they were playing cards on the front porch. You know, okay, that's fine. But it's after midnight, and they're swearing, they're screaming. You can tell they're drunk, right? I mean, just being obnoxiously loud, like way too loud for midnight, period. So I know he's getting pissed off because it's probably 10 times louder than him, because these houses were only like 10 feet apart, you know? There's not much yard in between the houses. So he's right there, and they're right on their front porch. And there's 6 or 7 people over there. So I'm keeping doing my video. Half hour goes by. Well, it starts getting louder and nasty, and now it sounds like a fight. Now there's a whole bunch of crying and yelling and screaming and swearing, and now I hear banging. I'm like, what the heck? I go around the side, look out front, and there's a guy, he's pissed off. I could tell they're drunk. They're holding beer bottles. They're kind of just, you know, carrying on like stupid drunk women. He smashes their mailbox. There's beer bottles flying. They're crashing against the house. They're just, oh my God, doors slamming, you know, full on brawl. All of a sudden I see neighbor's light come on inside. Oh man, I can picture what he's, son of a... So this goes on about another half an hour. I finish my video. I go in. And I'm in a good mood. You know, it's kind of funny. And then I notice I did my entire video with my microphone turned off. So all that was completely wasted. So that's when I went out to do this video. I said, you know what? I have to do something positive with the night. This is just, I need to break my streak. And then I get home and I notice this didn't have audio either. So it's been one of those nights. So I'm doing a voiceover and I'm getting this dang video up. I have no idea what point in the video I'm at yet. I'm probably fairly close to getting where I was going to do the shoot. I'm going to give you the gist of what happened, and then I'm going to cut out a bunch. I'll fast forward through a little bit of it, and then I'm going to show you the picture at the end. Basically, I had a shot in my head, and I did some scouting as usual on Google Earth, and I found this, what I thought would be a very dark road. There's a part of the road that I saw just looking on Google Earth that ended at a horse path, and it didn't look like there were any street lights near the end of it. So that would give me a really cool dark background. And what I was going for was a zoomed in shot, compressing the street behind the bike, and just with a silhouette of trees, and then lighting the bike. And luckily I got there, and there was a spot exactly matching what I had in my head. And it was really an educated guess, because the Google Earth shots are obviously during the daytime. So I couldn't see exactly, you know, what was going on. But it worked out great. I did give a tip. There was a point where I got off the bike, when I was getting off the bike at the end of the road, and my foot started to slip out because it was very loose, gravelly, sandy-like road material. It was kind of like asphalt that didn't have any gooiness to it. So it was really, really loose. And I had mentioned when that happened that I caught myself because I had learned my lesson doing that, because I dropped my last FJR doing that exact same thing. My foot came out and the bike went right down on me because my leg slid out. But here's my tip to avoid that and how I learned that lesson. What you do is when you're on that type of gravel, or even if you think you are, what you do is you put both feet down at the same time and stand up over the bike to make sure. Put your weight on both feet at once while standing up. That way, when your foot slides out like it did to me tonight, you end up just falling back down on the bike. You don't tip the bike as you lose your footing. If you're sitting down on the bike, putting all your weight on the seat like normal riding, and then you put your foot down and start to put your weight on it, if your foot slides out at that point, your bike tips with you, because all your weight is on the seat and the suspension is compressed and the bike has nowhere to go but sideways. But if you're standing up and you're not sitting on the bike when that happens, your leg can completely slide out. And all you do is sit back down on the bike straight down so you don't tip over the bike. So that's my tip. If you ever think you're on unstable footing, both feet down, stand straight up. Do not try to put any weight while sitting on the bike, and you will save your butt. And I did tonight. So that's about all I can remember. I'm sure I talked about more, but oh well. I put my helmet down and I filmed some of it. I don't know how that's going to come out yet. I haven't looked at the footage, but I'm going to cut out the boring parts. And that's it. Enjoy, and I will throw up the picture here at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Visit the site, TwoWheelObsession.com. Got plenty of new stuff going up every day from a lot of different riders. We'll see you next time.